You want to know the worst thing about the end of episode 5 of Tokyo Revengers Season 2? Is that there's honestly an argument to be made that him breaking up with Hinata isn't the worst idea ever. And hear me out. They are in a very sticky predicament. At a moment's notice, she could be thrown in harm's way. Even ignoring the future with Kisaki, there's a lot of large players. I mean, do you think Taiji wouldn't think twice about hitting her? I mean, there's a reason why maybe taking the father's advice is seen as a good thing. You could have easily navigated that in such a normal, healthy way. He could have just bluntly said, I'm in a lot of dangerous situations right now, and anyone connected to me has a very strong chance of getting hurt if not killed. All he needed to do was be brutally honest, say, I love you still, I want to be with you, but for the time, for both of our safeties, it would be best so I can focus on getting this BS done. Yes, she may have took it wrong, but I think the fact that he got his face impaled 10 times because he was dumb enough to say I'm in love with someone else and broke her heart, I mean, I think that would have been an improvement. And yes, you can say hindsight's 20/20, but my boy is a living and walking, breathing hindsight 20/20. He literally knows he breaks up with her and it goes very wrong. You could just take 2 seconds. Hell, you have your new best boy who literally knows you travel in time. Maybe talk it with him. He's not the brightest and sharpest tool in the shed, but at the very least it probably would have been better. My boy was infuriating, though I think it was intentional, I really do, but I mean, I don't know. That's the best way to put it. Now, I do have a full live reaction to both episodes 4 and 5, as we are going to be talking about both of them over on my Patreon, so if you want to see my full uncut thoughts, consider supporting and heading on over there. But yes, we're doing a double review for 4 and 5. I didn't do it last week. I think the new system is going to be, I'm going to do a double review, mainly because of 2 reasons. First of which is, I feel like when I compare my thoughts and feelings for episode 4 and I compare my thoughts and feelings for episode 5, it's kind of night and day, where I'm very excited, enthusiastic with episode 4, episode 5, it's a mixed bag for me. And I think when I combine my overall thoughts and picture of what I've seen over 2 episodes, it's a more positive reaction. It's not perfect, but it's a more positive one than if all I had was episode 5. So I don't think it's perfect right now. I don't. But I do think the content has a lot of potential, especially given that we're literally in seasons beatings right now. So Christmas Showdown is in full swing. But I think with what the season's doing, there's a lot of ways for me to overreact early before seeing more content. So I don't want to get into the habit that I see a lot in the anime community where we just negatively react to something and cross it off the list. There's a lot of aspects about episode 5 that are infuriating, but I'm willing to hope that it's for a reason. It's done intentionally and maybe things won't just be exactly as it was. But only time will tell, of course. So I think we're going to do the double reviews for sure. But my overall thought of where we're going, I like it. I think the concept of Taiju, this horrible scumbag, right? I mean, we literally have our boy announce in episode 4 that he's going to kill his brother. And we learn the only time he's ever alone, because he always has bodyguards, is on Christmas, where he goes to worship and pray, right? So it's guaranteed, like, that's where it would happen. And we know it happens in the future, unless it's a misdirect, that he kills his brother. And it seemingly is all related to both the own abuse he suffered from his hands, but also the abuse that happened to his sister. So the original plan was that, I mean, his leader, his literal actual big bro from his past, said, like, as long as you can free and never hurt his sister again, we'll let him join up with Black Dragon and we won't have an all-out war. Because even if Taiju and his crew are talented and very mean, they would lose members, guaranteed, if they did go up against Tamon. Even if Tamon loses, like, they would still lose, right? So if there's a way to avoid conflict, it feels right now anyway that they would. Though, would they double cross? Oh, absolutely. I guarantee at some point they probably will. But at face to face, it seems like that was the play. So we had the whole, like, we're trying to get blackmail, we're working with Kisaki. I mean, there's the understandable tension there because he literally is responsible for so much. But throughout watching 4, I mean, I was constantly saying in my live reaction that, like, it feels like the play is to befriend him, because if we kick him out, it's going to cause problems. If we kill him, I guarantee you there would just be different conflicts that would pop up. If Kisaki's no longer around, most likely there would just be a different threat that would take its place. It just feels like it'd be a chain reaction. The play would be to befriend him and prevent any more bad things from happening. Now, after episode 5, we have more context of maybe why he's so connected to both my boy Takemichi, but also Hinata. So it seems like he might have had a crush on her back in the day. And if that is his main drive of killing her because of simple, like, I wish I had her and you had her, I don't know how I'll feel about that, I gotta be honest. But it also seems like it's connected, as he saw someone like Takemichi who was weak and would jump in and save the day even if it meant getting her. And I feel like there is a bit of envy there. So I'm interested to see if there's a potential, because in episode 5, we get the confirmation, we learn that she knew him from the past. And the fact that she says, like, they could get along, I mean, he's done things currently, like, not even talking about the future of what he ends up doing. Currently in the timeline, he's done things that people will never forgive, right? So is it possible to befriend? I don't think he needs to do it legit. I don't think, like, this is like the logical side. Like, he can BS this. He can lie to his face. But if he gets on his good side, he can either learn things that will help the future, or potentially, similar to Mikey, he can prevent him from going complete chaos. But it's not guaranteed. Nothing is. It's a very complex situation, which is why I'm usually pretty lenient on Takemichi being like, he fumbles, but it's like, who wouldn't fumble in this moment? Episode 5 is one of the rare cases where I say he fumbled and there's no excuses, because I think most people will say him breaking up was dumb. But I do think, given where he's currently at, I think it wouldn't be the worst idea ever for them to have a break. I'm not saying actually break up, but I think she's smart enough to realize, yes, she would probably be stubborn and like, no matter what happens, I'm with you, I'm your ride or die. But I think there's ways, right? I think there's absolutely ways that there could have been a conversation. You could have had a 20-minute episode similar to ReZero when you had that Rem and Subaru moment. They just kept the characters in one location, spinning the camera around for 20 minutes. It was a long, heart-tugging conversation. You could have done that with Takemichi, but instead he did the dumbest play ever and said, I want to break up with you because I never loved you, or at the very least, I'm in love with someone else. And just, like, there's so many better ways. There's no excuse, in my opinion, for that fumble. But could that lead to good drama? Yes. But when that's the last episode you have to watch of a Tokyo Revengers episode for a week, it's hard not to be a little spicy and a little salty, which prior to watching episode 5, I did see some mixed responses. I wasn't sure exactly. Initially, when it was revealed that he was like a childhood friend, or at the very least acquaintance to Hinata, I was like, oh, maybe the reason the internet's a little upset is because it seems like they're trying to say like he maybe killed her because he had a crush on her, which would be kind of stupid, but maybe that's why. But no, I think the main response is just the way he broke up. Even if you disagree that he needed to break up, I think what I just said on terms of how he could have gone about it, anyone upset with that breakup maybe would have been able to stomach it easier if it was done that way, like a break or a pause, or at the very least, let me just deal with this Taiju BS. Act like you aren't associated with me so you're not in the crossfire. That would have been acceptable and it would have felt like progress, but I don't think there's progress right now, man. And honestly, at this point, I wouldn't be shocked in the slightest if lovable dumbass decides to randomly shake hands with Nauta accidentally, like he gives him a high five or something, and then he gets transported to the future where he's in prison and he has to wait a goddamn year to shake hands again. Like, at this point, that's how much faith I have in our boy, but honestly, I guess we'll see where they take it. Episode 4, I think, was really great with the Taiju stuff in terms of the emotional backstory, seeing the PTSD of the abuse, and honestly just setting in motion a potential route with Kisaki in present day here. Unfortunately, episode 5 definitely got me rather infuriated, but am I still excited to watch Tokyo Revengers? Absolutely, but I gotta be honest. Part of it's I like, part of it's I don't right now, but honestly, I'm open-minded to see where they take it, but I think the double review format will be the best. But I will be doing weekly live reactions still, so I will still be covering, so if you do want to see my weekly thoughts, we'll be on Patreon, and you'll get those full uncut live reactions, but if you still want to just keep on with the free content, every other Monday we're going to be doing Tokyo Revengers, so hopefully you'll keep on the journey with me and we'll see where season 2 goes. But thoughts, feelings yourself down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, ring that bell so you can get notifications when new episodes of Tokyo Revengers do drop on the channel. Patreon, full live reaction, all that other fun jazz, consider if you so wish. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.